Your somatic blueprint changes based on your quiet moments. Imagine cellular aging isn't just wear and tear, but a record written in tiny chemical marks across our DNA. These markers determine how long fundamental cells survive, governing something deeper than just timekeeping. It is about intrinsic coherence. Think of it like an internal thermostat controlling the very machinery of life itself, stabilizing or letting it decay based on your state. When we achieve profound stillness, that quiet balance actively keeps these vital maintenance systems running perfectly without needing any outside intervention.
The real finding isn't just that quiet states help, but how they rewrite the cellular operating system itself. Consider DNA methylation not as damage, but like an internal dimmer switch, controlling which genes are even allowed to run at all in your stem cells. When we maintain what researchers call deep attunement, that stable parasympathetic flow, it acts like a steady hand on that rheostat, ensuring fundamental maintenance processes don't stall out due to random fluctuations. It is as if sustained coherence keeps the master software from getting corrupted by noise.
What happens when that stable coherence reaches a critical threshold? It shifts from just maintaining systems to actively reshaping them, moving toward what ancient thought called somatic sovereignty. This isn't passive upkeep. This is self-directed cellular evolution, driven by internal calm. Think of it like fine-tuning an antique orchestra, not just keeping the instruments in tune, but actually improving their resonance over time. The research indicates that sustained deep states modulate chromatin accessibility itself, a mechanism governing whether essential DNA sequences are open or locked down for maintenance genes, which means something nobody expected for how readily we can rewrite our fundamental biological programming without any external input.
Imagine cellular health isn't just a slow burn toward decline, but something actively maintained by our internal stillness itself. We shift from observing maintenance to seeing intrinsic calibration. Think of it like your body having an automated resonance control system that gets dialed in perfectly during quiet states, stabilizing the entire biological orchestra without any conductor present. This process we saw earlier is now linked directly to how stable rhythms influence epigenetic marker across specific areas governing somatic upkeep. Now here's a catch. Some preliminary work suggests these shifts are much harder to sustain than our deep intuition implies. We need to know who holds that counterargument, because the stakes just went way higher for what this means for us all going forward. But even if that intrinsic calibration holds, what actually stabilizes those epigenetic signatures against external chaos? We discovered how a stable internal rhythm dictates specific methylation patterns on regulatory loci, but there is another layer of control we touched upon earlier, the shift towards somatic sovereignty through chromatin changes. The research then hints at something far more subtle regarding the actual mechanics within quiescent cells. It suggests that some pathways act like biological dampeners, allowing only certain maintenance signals to fire robustly across repetitive DNA sequences. That initial firing happens, but what dictates if those downstream repair programs actually kick in is entirely dependent on a secondary, less visible modulator we haven't even mapped yet. What governs the next command? You need to hear this. That secondary modulator you waited for, the one controlling whether vital upkeep actually starts working deep inside those quiet cells, it relates to something far more subtle than just keeping things locked or open. We are looking at how sustained calmness influences the very way certain repetitive DNA sequences behave in response to internal whispers of stress. Think of it like a complex security system where everything appears calm, but an unnoticed vibration can silently degrade the fundamental protocols running underneath. The breakthrough reveals that this fine-tuning isn't just about stability, it's about initiating a self-correcting cycle we have never seen before. But knowing how these dampeners manage sequence activity only raises a far deeper question about origin and ultimate command structure. The ultimate takeaway isn't just quietness helps, it is that our state of deep coherence allows us a form of somatic sovereignty. We aren't merely preventing decline, we are actively tuning the cellular orchestra toward higher resonance over time itself. Consider this, When you enter those truly still moments, you gain control over fundamental biological switches previously thought fixed forever by outside forces. Think of it like setting your internal GPS to absolute north against any magnetic interference, a stable reference point for life's essential protocols. This capacity reveals that profound self-regulation is an intrinsic function available to us now. The full research archive is at jmthomasofficial.com.
The final synthesis shows us that maintaining cellular coherence isn't just an act of prevention, it is a deliberate, sustained performance upgrade. Think of your somatic state as fine-tuning complex software inside ancient hardware. The biology itself resists easy change unless given precise input at the right time. This process we traced earlier has one ultimate implication. Deep attunement calibrates these internal protocols to resist systemic degradation in ways that mimic true self-governance. It is an architecture of resilience written directly into your quiet presence, a fundamental biological lever accessible now. The full research archive is at jmthomasofficial.com.